College was the first time that I started to really recognize mental health for what
Right.
it was, and that I dealt with a lot of mental health issues. I used to drink just to try to feel like I was a part of a group, even though I didn't like to drink. I used to reject myself just to make other people feel good.
Right.
And that alone, like, showed me, like, in college, I was just like, what am I doing? But I just stayed in that cycle. And it took all the way to, getting therapy when I got to the league to get out of that cycle.
I made it through the rough time, rough time. I made it through the tough time, tough time. I made it through the bad time, bad time. So now I gotta get mine, get mine. Gotta weather the storm, gotta get mine. Gotta weather the storm, I gotta get mine. Gotta weather the storm. Okay, one day we gon' get on. Talk to 'em. You ain't got a choice. You
Welcome
gotta
to
know
Bailey
it's
and Buck
me.
Unplugged, where we talk about sports, entertainment, and mental health in support of the Kennedy Kids Foundation. If you're struggling with mental health, we encourage you to speak up and get help. A great place to start is 988. That's the free crisis prevention lifeline. Or you can check out the resources tab at kennedykids.org. If you are in an absolute emergency, please dial 911. Either way, we want you to know that you are not alone and that you don't have to struggle, and speak up, get help. There are resources available to you, and we are here to support you. If you're new around here, I want to introduce you to our host. I am Misty Buck. I am an author and a mental health and performance coach. And my co-hosts are Robert Bailey. He is the president of Rosenhaus Sports, the president of Kennedy Kids Foundation. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, two-time college national champion. He's an NFL record holder, and he's an ESPY winner. And we are also joined by Bailey Brooks Masburn. She is a celebrity wedding and event planner, a former NFL cheerleader, and the executive director of the Kennedy Kids Foundation.
Welcome to Bailey and Buck Unplugged, the podcast where sports, entertainment, and mental health intersect. Brought to you by the Kennedy Kids Foundation. We are on a mission to break the stigma surrounding mental health and create spaces where real conversations lead to real change. Today, we are honored to welcome a special guest who knows the pressure of professional sports and the importance of mental health, resilience. Adrian brings a powerful story of perseverance, identity, and healing. As we dive into his journey today, we'll explore the realities that athletes face off the field and on, and how mental health plays a crucial role in performance, recovery, and life beyond the game. This is more than just a conversation, it's a connection. So whether you're an athlete, a fan, or someone searching for hope, this episode is for you. Let's get unplugged. Welcome, Adrian. Thank you for joining us today.
I want to first start out by saying, you are one of our clients that has always, in my mind, probably been the most spiritual guy. One of, yeah, I would say probably Jordan Poyer is also a very spiritual guy. And you did a post the other day, a few days ago, and you talked about, your comment was like, pause and don't be afraid to love yourself, you know? So just starting out with that, I want to say, do you remember a time in your life? If we always ask our guests this first question, do you remember a time in your life when you had, or the first time in your life when you had real mental health struggle, and how was that? What was that like?
I mean, like, reflecting back, I can tell you, like, as a kid, I had mental health struggles. Like, like, I was peeing in the bed until I was like 11, 12.
Wow.
And if you think about um, the psychological effects that lead to that, I was around it every day. Instability, gang violence, guns, drugs, addicts. Like, that was what I was around every day growing up, from when I was a kid all the way until I was about 12, when my dad moved, and we moved to Mineral Wells, a different town, different environment. And I got out of that fight or flight stage that I was in, that I lived in my entire life mostly. Um, but like, did I understand that at the moment? No, I didn't understand that. So I can use college. When I got to college, like you start to hear about depression, you start to hear about anxiety. Because growing up in my communities, those conversations were
No one talked about it.
nobody talked about that. It was taboo.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't something that people openly talked about. And if people did, it was very few. So it's like, oh, they might be crazy or something might be wrong with them. And, that's another thing being passed along, judgment. Like people judge because of one little detail that they might find out or hear about somebody's story. But when you really take a deep dive into someone's life and you get to know them, you really get to know them, then it makes it easier for you not to judge, which is completely backwards for me. But back to the story. College was the first time that I started to really recognize mental health for
Right.
what it was, and that I dealt with a lot of mental health issues. I used to drink just to try to feel like I was a part of a group, even though I didn't like to drink. I used to hold my tongue just to try to appease to people and not hurt other people's feelings. I used to reject myself just to make other people feel good.
Right.
And that alone, like, showed me, like, in college, I was just like, what am I doing? But I just stayed in that cycle. And it took all the way to, getting therapy when I got to the league to get out of that cycle. And honestly, it started 2 years ago when I finally removed myself from whatever cycle of destruction and, self-imposed mental health issues.
Right. When you said it took to the league. So obviously you started understanding it in college, and then you came to the NFL. What made you in the NFL take that step to therapy? What made you, was it someone, or was it something that you recognized within yourself because of the awareness factor had grown inside of you? What made you take that step
So I
and say,
did
I need
therapy,
therapy?
and it's crazy. Like it's very, um, I don't know. For reflecting back on it, it's like, why would you do that? It makes no sense. But I done therapy in 2015. I lost a really good friend of mine um, in a car accident. She was driving, hit a tree, had three other people in the car, and we had literally just left from seeing each other. I was depressed. Like I felt I had survivor's remorse because I was the I was the last person to text her. And I was asking to get a
Right.
ride with her as we were leaving this party. And I didn't hear about it until the next morning. And I was devastated. Like for the next 3 weeks, I was missing classes. I was sleeping if I would go. Um, I was distracted in meetings. Like I was in a whirlwind and I had no idea who I could talk to about it or even how to have that conversation. And it was
Wow.
like 3 weeks later, a teacher told me like, hey, like you got a D in this class. You need to go see somebody. And I was like, and at that point I was just like, I gotta say something because if I don't, then I'm gonna get kicked out of school. So
Right.
I'm like, my friend died. Like I don't know what's going on. Like this shit sucks. I don't want to be here. Like I didn't want to be here alive because I felt like I
Right.
should have been gone anyways. So like why do I need to be here? And sent sent me to a therapist on campus, and I started taking medication, and the medication made me even worse. And yeah, it made me even worse. Like
Oh,
I was
wow.
sleeping even more in class. Like my energy was to like zero. Like I didn't talk. I was a zombie.
Right. That's incredible. When you say that, when you say being here alive, did you have suicide thoughts?
Yeah.
Tennis?
No,
Did you start thinking about suicide?
absolutely. I remember, driving to her wake in Bryant over at College Station, and I used one of my good friend's cars because I didn't have a car, and I was driving like 125 miles an hour, just crying, like
Wow.
saying like if it happened, it happened.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and I've never told nobody that story. It was tough. Like it was a tough 3 weeks for me, and I think going into like therapy, it was such a bad experience because the dude just immediately gave me medication, and
Right.
I was just like, all right, whatever, fuck it. I'm
Right.
gonna take whatever I can to try to feel good, or shoot, I'm not gonna be here, and nobody's gonna know why I'm not here
Right.
Right.
because on the outside everything looked good.
Man, at what point, because you talk about medication, you talk about therapy, at what point did you, and you say the medication didn't help, it actually made it worse. At what point in your life do you feel like, okay, I'm coming out of this particular mental, pressure in my life with your friend dying? Now you're on medication that's making it worse. At what point did you start to come out of that fog and then feel
At what
like
point
I'm
did you
getting
start to
better?
see
Yeah.
the light?
I mean, on top of all of that, like obviously we were spring ball, I wasn't performing. So
Right.
I had a round table meeting with the staff. So it was Coach Strong, D coordinator, even offensive staff, and like
Oh,
head scouts.
oh wow.
Round table meeting, and it was about my performance and about my possibility of being able to come back that following year. Meaning, like if I didn't go and perform in fall camp,
They
then
weren't going to renew the scholarship.
I wasn't gonna be here.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
And like that woke me up. Like it broke my heart. But I went home that summer and I cried to my dad. I told him, I was just like, well, look, like I just had a meeting with the coaches. I haven't been performing well. I'm dealing with a lot. And like I don't know what the fuck to do. And my dad was there, and I mean he told me, he was just like, man, you gonna be all right, son. Like you're gonna be all right. And you know, you gotta put the work in though. And it's so crazy to me when I think back on it, like I probably could have used a little bit more, a little bit more than that. I
Right.
probably could have used a little bit more than that, but it worked. It worked. I was just like, all right, cool. So I started busting my ass. I started like really leaning into, increasing my football IQ, studying film, studying receivers, studying the playbook, and just really deep diving into being a student of the game versus just relying on, athletic ability and physical. And it paid off, not in the sense of me being able to get playing time or me ended up transferring to Miami, but it paid off from like an internal and mental perspective. Like
Right.
I felt like I grew physically, I grew mentally. Like me challenging myself allowed me to move forward with my life and not hold on or live in regret versus living in the present. And I ended up going and having my best fall camp that I had in college, and still not getting to play and transferring, but it was all worth something.
That's great, man. That's awesome. I mean, to go from, Bailey, this guy is an NFL player, man, and a starter in the NFL, and to go from college where they're almost threatening you that you won't be back to making it in the NFL is a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment.
No, that's got to be a huge swing, and like
Uh,
turning the trend into
huge.
like refocusing like that. That is kind of like a technique. It's a mental health technique, is to like just shift your focus, because you were so focused on the loss for so long. You were just spiraling with the loss, almost to the point where you were willing to go meet her where she was, like where she went, and for lack of a better description of that moment. But then like that wake up call, like, hey, you spent all this time grieving and all of this stuff has shifted and you're going backwards now in your life and you're still here living, like you still got work to do on your own. The fact that you like buckled down and then looked at all of that information and just became a student of the game, like you said, that's really impressive. And I understand what Robert's saying, because I know that the percentage of anyone actually making it to the NFL is like 0.0003% or some crazy number. So, I mean, well done on pulling yourself out, especially since you didn't get as much as you could have received in that moment.
Right. Man, you getting therapy in college, to me, it still blows my mind. I'm sure you were probably one of the only guys on the entire team that was getting therapy. Not many college guys,
I
seek
actually
therapy
think he's the only guest that has a sports athlete that we've interviewed that got therapy during college, because
during
most of the
college.
athletes,
Yeah,
yeah, most of the athletes have said that it's the last thing they've ever wanted to admit, that they need help for fear of not getting drafted as a result of having
right,
I'm seeing a therapist on their resume type deal.
right. Was there something that therapist did? Do you remember a moment um in your journey with the therapist where you felt like, man, this therapist is what he said or she said has really helped me? Do you remember that moment or no?
No, no,
No, they just
no,
gave him drugs, Robert. They didn't help
no.
him.
Like,
They just
Yeah,
drugged
yeah,
but
him.
so
not a,
that there
not a,
so
not a
that
chance.
therapist obviously you felt like failed.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, but like at the same time, it kept me from, not doing something else,
Right,
which I mean, in hindsight is a win, regardless of, how the person made me feel, whether they made me feel heard, whether they made me feel safe and comfortable, like is another thing. But I'm here today being able to have this conversation. So
it
didn't
helped
do
in
too
some way.
in some way, but like I have two therapists that I use now, and I've had therapists pretty much my whole career since I've been in the league, and trusted therapists that
Right.
have helped me, and you know I've learned a lot from. I mean, like I'm telling you, I see my therapist every week.
That's awesome. So you have a personal relationship, because this is someone that you've seen for many years, and it's been extremely beneficial to you. How have they been beneficial, in what way have they helped you? Now these people, these therapists, compared to your last one, how did you turn the corner with these therapists?
I think feeling comfortable, like being able to feel comfortable with somebody is so important when, picking a therapist. Like it's hard to have vulnerable conversations and completely open
Right,
when you don't trust somebody, or when someone doesn't make you feel comfortable, or they
right.
don't make you feel heard, and they're just trying to direct you in whatever way they feel like you should go, versus like helping you get to your own understanding to take your steps in your journey.
That's
No,
that's
super.
that's
Was this the
awesome.
first? Was this the first time? And yes, that is, sorry, Robert, you're correct. That is awesome. And I'm glad that you found somebody that provides the safe space for you to be able to unleash all the demons onto, is what I call it when I'm talking to my therapist. I'm just like vomiting all the information out and I just need help restructuring it. Was this the first time that you'd lost a friend or someone close to you when this happened?
No, like I grew up, I mean, I want to say like eight dudes that I grew up with are dead.
Oh wow, you've been through it, man.
Oh
That's so
yeah,
cool.
like
Like all before college or during college too?
before, during, after. Like I lost my cousin 3 years ago. It was drugs, but like somebody gave him, some pills with fentanyl in them, and he ended up
Damn.
dying. He ended up dying in his car at the gas station we used to go to as kids.
Eh,
Um,
That's
So
sad.
so yeah,
So eight
losses.
people, like that's a compounding amount of like loss, especially like going into college already losing more than one person. So it's like it's almost like it was a lot heavier than normal, and she was like the breaking point.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that was because that broke the levee for honestly, and um, like I said, like I'm grateful for every moment that I was able to spend with her, and even the hard moments when I had to learn to let go and not hold on to what was, because what is right now in these moments are the only things that truly exist, and literally give us the joy. Like it's hard to get joy from something that you can't see.
right. And so you have these two therapists and you work with them, and lately, I've noticed that you and Jordan Poyer and a lot of NFL players and other celebrities, like you guys go to Costa Rica and you do some sort of ritual over there that helps with your spirituality and your mental health and all that. Let's talk about that, because if in my mind I'm thinking you have therapists, it's working, but you're still seeking more spiritual advancement, I want to say, right?
Or
And
aligned connections.
right. So talk to us about that program in Costa Rica, what it is. I know Jordan Poyer is a big advocate of it. And I know I think he told me he's going to do his own program. But
Yeah.
talk to the public about what that program is, what you guys do. All the celebrities, I see it on the internet that go, and how it affects you. And yeah, go ahead and tell us about that.
So we went to a retreat, residence retreat, at Estrellas in Costa Rica. There's
Okay.
many retreats throughout the country, Peru, South America. I think there's a couple here in the country, but they're very rare.
Right.
But and they do all types of psychedelics, plant medicine, um, whatever name that the region you come from describes it as. In the Amazon, they call it uni, or ayahuasca.
Yeah,
Um,
ayahuasca is
you
what I
got
know.
you got mushrooms, you got bufo. There's so many.
Ketamine.
Yeah, there's a lot of different like plant medicine options that you can go and you know experience. What I like to call the inner work. You deep dive, you peel back the layers, and you really explore like your soul, not the physical body, but the soul. The past traumas of generations, not only yours but others, and it's such a beautiful experience that honestly I can't even explain it in the way that would resonate or describe the entirety of its being. It's such a beautiful medicine, though. It brought out some of the hardest moments in my life that I had suppressed. Like I got hit by a car, and at 31 years old, I laid on the ground, reliving that experience internally. And in my mind, I was back at that place,
Oh wow.
getting hit by a car, being in a
Wow.
coma, car, like it was wild, and I hurt. And as a kid, I didn't realize I hurt. Like the same week I got a week or two after I got out of the hospital, I had a birthday and I got a new bike. And I was back on the bike after getting hit by a car that was going 55 miles an hour. Like you can't tell me like there's and for a long time I'm sitting here like I have no trauma from this car accident. It's crazy. But little did I know I did. And it hindered me in so many ways, and relationships, and even in my own growth. But everything happens for a reason, and being able to go and sit with the medicine and releasing that has allowed me to be a advocate for youth, and be an advocate for love and community and connection, because those are things that I had no interest in before. And another part of the ceremony, I felt my heart explode in a way that some people might be like, whoa, that sounds like it hurts. But it felt like my heart just like burst in such a beautiful way. And I just felt love just pour from my head to my toes.
Wow.
That's a really cool,
Like,
like
imagine,
vision.
imagine like getting the biggest hug from the universe, and somebody telling you like you're safe, you're cared for, you're loved, you're seen, and it just pouring all of that down like from head to toe. And I just remember myself just tears just flooded. Like, I'm not crying, but tears were just flooding like a waterfall, and it was so beautiful. And I get to live that every single day because it's something that we all have within us when we choose to be present in the moment. And that's something that I wasn't aware of as a before I sat with the medicine. And then, I mean, other experiences that I learned is um, everybody has to, fight their own battles. There's a saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I mean, that's life. Like, we can want the most for people, but we can't make them want it more than we do. And
Right.
that's in anything. That's in sports, that's in business, that's in relationships. And, sometimes we just have to let go. Like, not let go in the sense of like, I don't care, I'm not going to try to support you, I'm not going to try to affirm you as much as I can, but I'm not going to allow my energy to expend or be taken from me in a way that isn't cohesive, where it's not flowing, where it's just being taken out. And that helped me so much. And I'm such an awesome partner now, and I say that with confidence because I know in the past, like, I was such a bad partner. Like, I just wasn't there emotionally. I wasn't there, like, with love. I was just there. And
Right.
that wasn't fair to any of the people that had came across me relationship wise. It wasn't fair to my family, who loved me as much as they did, and I was kind of there.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Do you think that attending the event, do you think that changed you as your character, who you are? Some people, you can get better mentally, get better and all that, but sometimes there's events or things that actually change who you are, right?
Yeah.
or
Like,
just, or just open up parts of yourself that you haven't
right.
met yet.
Did
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
or that.
that,
Did it which one was
that-
do you think it changed you?
I think it enhanced me, and it opened up who I truly was. It removed all of the layers of conditioning and restructure from the youth, because you think about it, you grow up as a kid, and you have you're conditioned in the ways that the people that are raising you want you to be. Like, your parents want you to do this, your parents want you to play football, they want you to get good grades. They don't care about certain things, like diet isn't the thing, like affirmations isn't a thing, mental health isn't a thing. These are all like layers that you're being molded as you grow up, that you have to peel back to really figure out who you are in essence, at spirit, at core. When you're born, you're perfect. Like, you're perfect when you're born. Then
Right.
you go through trauma, then you go through struggles, then you go through
Yeah.
whatever, whether it's mental abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, like, all of these different things happen in life. And you either put up a barrier or you reject, or there's all different ways that you react, that your body naturally reacts, and that your psyche naturally reacts to all these different occurrences that you experience from birth until whatever point that you become aware and choose to dive deep into your mind and dive deep into who you truly are. And, for me, that definitely helped. It helped pull back layers that and blockages that I had in my life, and super grateful for it, and definitely going to do it again, because not only does it help heal, it helps you connect with source, connect with the universe, connect with the earth. Like, I am outside so much more than I used to be. Like, I literally talk to trees. I lay in the grass. I sit by the fire and play guitar
Ground.
every single day. Like, I play sound bowls every single day.
And you never used to do that before.
No, like, I challenge myself every single day, whether it's a new book, whether it's a new instrument, whether it's a new lesson with guitar or anything. I'm just trying to learn. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to give, give. Like, I found my purpose, and my purpose is to serve. And information is serving. Giving time is serving. And, I'm so passionate about it. I was telling somebody the other day, like, I've never made a play that has made me feel better than what I'm doing right now. Like, I love the game. I've always loved the game, but I love doing what I do when I'm out with the kids, or I'm pouring into young adults who are looking to, excel in areas that they've never seen outside of on TV or YouTube.
Right.
Like, it's such a fulfilling inner feeling, like, not an outer feeling, but like the inside is like when you're vibrating and it's like tingling. Like, I get that all the time.
You're vibrating. This is exceptional. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations, because you've like reached a level that, like, Robert and I are old, right? Like, we're 50 and over.
Y'all are,
So it took a really long time for Robert and I to be exposed to these types of discussions and techniques, because the generation before us didn't, like, it was absolutely not a conversation or a thing. Like,
Zero.
yes, course you were on your bike after you came out, woke up from the coma. Of course, like, that's normal. It was the norm, right? But now you're in this space where you're like, no, wait a minute. All these outside influences that were part of my upbringing that I got exposed to put conditions on me for how I could operate, move in the space, walk around, be in a neighborhood and stay safe in my own house. And it doesn't really allow you to be, like, exploratory about your own character, because you're right. When you were born, you were perfect. And then everybody else's stuff got
yeah,
dropped onto you without you being able to, like, grow as your own flower, drinking your own water, because it was all the stuff people like us around you are pouring into you. And so it's so exceptional to hear you at 31. You're 31, correct?
yeah,
Okay, X 31, to see that you've already got that in your toolkit is what I call it, because then now, if you're being a good steward of what you've adopted and learned from these retreats, and you're passing the message on, you're passing it on to a younger generation that's going to get the information sooner, to be able to live and walk in your truth longer. Like, imagine only finding this out at 42 years old, and then having to erase 42 years of trauma, and then to try to figure out how to be that way and vibrate at a high frequency and stay grounded, but still make money and support my house and feed my kids and blah, 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 all that craziness that we get
yeah.
stuck with. Like, congrats, like, be happy. I hope you're really happy about how far you've come and how much of the onion you've been able to peel back in the thinnest of layers, is what I'm hearing. Because if you relive that trauma like that, I can see you on the floor going through that and experiencing it, but then finding a way to discover what impact it actually had on you, and why you make decisions the way you make them. And now knowing, like, okay, I've removed this, I've uncovered it, and now I can make decisions better, because there's always more for me to learn. There's always more growth. There's always the next frequency to level up on.
Every day.
Exceptional. These retreats are so great, Robert. And the reason why they're so great is because they're like male girls trips. Like this is what women have been doing for years, going off and like blah blah blah, and just getting it all out. And we
Have
do
you
our
been
own
on?
version.
Have you been to one of these, Bailey?
No, this is at a different level. Like I have not been to one of these, but like it just like I'm just love that men are getting together in this fashion and having these experiences with each other, because these are things women feel comfortable doing on a regular basis with
Right.
their immediate girlfriends all the time without the medicine portion of it. Like this is just naturally we talk. Like we naturally get on the phone and talk for 2 hours about all of the shit. So men typically don't reveal their shit. They just
Right.
everything is great. It's all going well. I'm dealing with a few things, but I'll handle it. And then that's it. So like watching, hearing that there's something like this, like I hope it catches on, because I think more men would be better partners and better friends. And I just feel like back in the day, you guys were raised on like He-Man, Princess of Power, Star Wars, Return of the
Yeah.
Jedi, fight, fight, fight. And
Right.
all women are raised on Disney princess movies, and he's gonna come and save me in the palace, and I cook and I clean and I frolic. Like we're raised on two different like entertainment platforms, and none of the platforms connect. None of the Disney princess stories, when Prince Charming shows up and saves her on the white horse, show what happens after. None of them have
Right.
taught us what to do after once we got together. You fought the dragon, you slayed, you got the princess. The princess has been waiting for you. She's rescued, she's awakened. We lived happily ever after, and the movie freaking ends.
Right.
No one's been conditioning all of us for how do we then do this together and come together with all of our traumas and not kill one another in the relationship because of the
Right.
trauma we brought with us. It's just
Right.
it's like stop the insanity. Like we have to focus on things
You
like
make
this. But if everybody was doing their own work, like some people on this call, then it was. I'd love to have met a 31-year-old guy who talked to me like this on the first date. Oh my God, are you serious?
right. Well, he talks about serving, and
Yes.
what I hear, Adrian, is first you served yourself, and then that allowed you to serve others,
Put your
right?
oxygen mask on first before you try to put on someone else's.
Right. How,
That's a fact.
I'm thinking, how has this helped you become a better father? How do you raise your kid? How were you raising your kids before, and how's it helped you become a better father in raising your kids now?
Man,
Good question.
that's a great question. So I always knew what I wanted to be as a father. I wanted to be a great example. I wanted to be patient. I wanted to be softer. I wanted to be more open. And, I always wanted to make sure that, my son knew that, or my kids knew that they were safe, they were loved, they were supported regardless, no matter what they did, no matter what, if they made a mistake or, had a lesson that was brought upon them or they brought upon themselves. Like they could always come to dad and know that, they were going to be supported. They were obviously going to be, not lectured, but, we would talk it out. And, I've been that since my son was born, amidst all the struggles with, being a father, a single father, and, my son being in Connecticut and me being in Texas. It was super hard, but I lived out there for the first 5 months, and it was incredible because, I was doing everything, cooking, cleaning, going on walks, going to the parks, like while mom was working. Like this was me. I was doing full-time daddy. Like that was turned up. And then it's crazy. I was writing about this yesterday in my journal. I was just like patience really came to me once my son was born. Like I didn't know patience before. It was me, me, me. Whatever time I
Right.
wanted to do it is what time we was gonna do it. And if you wasn't on board, then I was leaving you.
Right.
And once my son came, it was like an instant shift. Like it was, we on your time, baby. Whatever you want to do, we gonna do.
How old is your son now?
He turns 3 on Friday.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I mean,
wow.
he's been such a such a blessing and such a joy. It's so cool being able to. Um, I feel like every day I heal some past traumas as a kid. Just being able to, teach my son the different ways, um, or the different things that I've learned, like as an adult, like
Right.
the good things, the things that provide stability, that support development, and allow him to be himself, who you want to be, what you want to do. We're gonna try
Right.
everything. We're gonna
But
try everything.
there's gonna be moments of trauma for him. There's gonna be
Yeah,
outside forces, because I think about what you said, right? Like your friend passed away and it brought trauma to you. That's
yeah,
nothing you did. It's just something that happened around you, right? So there's trauma that can come from what you personally do. There's trauma that can come from what is done to you,
yeah.
and then there's also trauma that can come from just things that's happening around you,
Right.
right? Just like your friend. So with all that, all of that, and you know that your son is going to um, be subjected to that in his life growing up.
Absolutely.
What's some of the advice that you're giving him now, implementing into his life? What is it that you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to make sure I do this with my son, make sure he does this?
We talk about our feelings. Like that's the first thing we do. We do have first thing in the morning. We do our affirmations. We start our day. We start our great days. We with affirmations like I'm strong. I'm loved. I'm supported. I'm intelligent. I'm safe, and list goes on. And then we write how we're feeling for that day. Like I don't like we know how we feel. Like happy, sad, excited. Today
Right.
today he wrote stinky. So I'm like I just wrote it on there stink because he
That's
got like
great.
this he got like this funny thing with poop right now. Like he says poop butt all the time. So I'm like, bro, like,
And
all
that's
right.
good. That's great.
So I mean, like, and then we talk about how he felt at school, like how he felt when he slept, like what he dreamt about. Like we talk about emotions. Emotions are very important to, have the awareness of. And I realized recently at a Boys and Girls Club visit that a lot of kids don't ever have emotions explained to them in a way that is digestible. And,
Right.
and sometimes kids don't even get a chance to respond to how are you feeling? What does that feel like?
Right.
Do you feel it here? Do you feel it here? Like breaking emotions down to a kid is not something that is being done right now, and it is gonna
That needs to be addressed.
yeah, that needs to be addressed big time.
Oh, massively. I would think that would be a huge thing. I thought it was crazy when I met my partner, my husband now, and in the beginning of our relationship 7 years ago, he told me he couldn't believe that I could name 100 emotions in less than 10 minutes. Like he was like flabbergasted. He's like, I don't even think I can name five. Because
Wow.
anger is his main emotion that he functioned off of. And so learning that about him, I focused only on teaching him all the different ones that I knew that he felt like he didn't know. And he just didn't know certain things were actually considered an emotion, like with the way that the word was used. So then he actually had a bigger range than he thought. So listening to your Boys and Girls Club story, which he was a part of as well when he was younger, like, no, they don't, because I think in a lot of households, especially in our culture, we don't give kids a voice. From
Right.
back in the day, everyone's like, I don't want to hear it.
No,
If what I say goes.
don't talk back.
Correct. Yeah, don't talk back. And it's like not a matter of not talking back. And this is the one I hate the most is don't talk back, because it's like, well, then how are they supposed to explain back to you or feel comfortable telling you, like, or explaining their side of it? Like, why isn't it an open dialogue? Why are we saying it's so disrespectful?
Right.
Yeah.
I think the
No.
no talk back. I think that the no talk back. I think maybe those are the wrong words, because I think don't talk back is directed towards, I think, disrespectful talk back, or some aggressive talk back. I think changing that wording so that they can talk back to you respectfully, but I think for my parents, it was really, don't talk back was really like, why are you, when I tell you you can't do something, why are you telling me you want to do it? Are you going to do it?
But you couldn't even ask what that meant though. Like
Right.
I know in my house, if my mom said don't talk back, it meant shut the fuck up. Like
Right.
Right. Facts.
yeah,
Right.
I couldn't ask for clarification on, well, am I allowed to say this? Like, because right away she's already on level 10 yelling at me not to talk back. So there's no opportunity for me to be like, but this is really what happened. Like you're misunderstanding. Like I didn't even have we don't,
Mhm.
Right.
back in the day, you weren't really given a voice. We were not giving these kids the voices. And I
Right.
think that's a really huge deal to watch a 31-year-old now listen to how you parent, you do affirmations with your 3-year-old. Like,
Oh yeah.
when he's 5, you're going to start journaling with him. I already know it. Like, or as
Oh
soon
yeah.
as he pen and paper. Yes.
He
Like my
already
son,
playing
my,
bowls.
my kids all journal. Everybody has a journal. The whole family journals. It's a thing. But like, you're starting it way earlier than we learned it. Like
Yeah.
Right.
to pass it on to our kids, which is, I mean, you really should pat yourself on the back for as far as you've come, especially
Yeah.
like coming from off your NFL career, the way your NFL career went for you. I know that you were injured a lot, like
Yep.
throughout your career, and that had to also be a mental struggle and challenge for you to
Oh
deal
yeah.
with injury reserve versus I'm playing today and I'm starting tomorrow, but now I'm injury reserve again. Like, talk us through some of that as well. Like, I'd love for people to know how you handled that, because now it's like, this is your money, this is business. This isn't your parent telling you don't talk
Yeah.
back. Now it's like, those.
You're right. It's like for me early, it was hard because I didn't get my therapist until after my ankle injury. So like I was fine rookie year, like I broke my thumb. Like I wasn't really tripping about that because I missed a week, but tried to play. They told me I had to miss the week. But so I wasn't really tripping about it. Didn't really deal with many like game missing injuries my first year. But then after second year, it was, oh my gosh, ankle, hamstring, quad, like back to back to back. And I'm just like, God. Then I had a shoulder. It was like a brachial plexus stretch. Is like a nerve damage in my shoulder. I was just like, goodness, I can't catch a break. And it was like year after year. So 2018 was the ankle. 2019 I had had like 2 hamstring injuries during training camp. So got released after training camp because I last preseason game pulled my hamstring. So I
Right.
mean that alone, that was just so stressful because you think about it, like as an athlete, you want to everything when something goes bad, all you revert to is work.
Right.
You don't revert to rest. You don't revert to like mental work, mental healing, mental recovery, spiritual recovery. You go straight to physical. But there's a triangle. There's the mind, body, and the spirit. And like a triangle, if one of them is off, then it's gonna collapse.
Right.
So as an athlete, early in my career, I was heavy focused on like the physical, sprinkling a little mental, but not so much to like really make a big difference. Cause yeah, I would do therapy, but I wasn't doing it as consistently as I have been over the last 3 years. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle because in your mind, like you start to talk to yourself like you're not doing affirmations because you're trying to get your body right. And me at the time, I was like, dang, like what's wrong with me? Like I gotta fix myself. I'm not right. Like I'm not where I need to be. And it wasn't until I recognized that I was enough where I was as a person, and I stopped trying to chase these things and live up to these expectations that weren't mine. Like it released a lot of that energy and that baggage that I was carrying. And again, like it was a struggle. injuries, trying to come back, like the pressure of, playing right after an injury, the pressure of getting back on time while you're rehabbing. Like, that's another stressor.
Right. That's
Like,
incredible.
how do you survive that mentally though? Like, what do you like? What do you do? I'm just like, because it sounds like woohoo, and then it sounds like and then woohoo again, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you are
More traumatic moments.
fight or flight. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like most of my NFL career was fight or flight.
I agree. Mine too.
Fight or flight. And honestly, it wasn't until after 2023 training camp with Chicago, I had ended up getting released. And this was a little bit, it's like 2 months after I told Jordan, 3 months after I told Jordan that I was going to go on the retreat with him. I started reading. And then right after that season, because right after that training camp, I got hurt. I got hurt in the middle of training camp at a preseason game against the Colts. Like, I pulled my hamstring again. So I got released and I got a medical waiver for 6 weeks. And before I left Chicago, I'm sitting here, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I eat really good. I'm a pescatarian. I don't drink. Like, I go to sleep 9 hours a day. I'm on this shift wave. I'm doing PT. I'm in the sauna. I'm doing everything you could possibly do. I'm affirmations. Like, what am I not doing? So
Right.
it really made me dive deeper into like my spirit. And, I went to a Reiki healing session. And in 2 weeks, I was back running 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
Not literally 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, we understand.
I was running like 23 miles an hour.
I get it. About 20 miles, not 100,
Yeah.
but at least 20.
Yeah.
I can get up to maybe 5.
Let me ask you a question. I got something on my mind. Did you grow up with a single parent, with your mom and dad? How was your parent situation?
So I grew up my mom and dad weren't together, so single parent, but I bounced between both of my parents up until junior high when me and my dad moved away.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. It's a deep question. You don't have to answer it, but you can or not.
Probably gonna answer it.
Okay. So, do you think your parents feel like they did a great job raising you? And do you feel like whatever their answer is in alignment with your answer?
It just depends on the self that is is responding to the question. Like, as a 31-year-old reflecting on my childhood, hell no. And I've told them that. Like,
right, but let me stop right there. Do you think it's because of their traumas that happened and their lack of knowledge? You can't blame them, but you know what I'm saying? Like, have you learned from everything you've gone through to where you look back at your parents and say, it's really not your fault?
No, it's like one of those middle things. It's like one of those middle grounds, because at the end of the day, like, one thing we all have is a choice.
Right.
Like, we have a choice to, continue to pass down generational trauma that was definitely learned. Like, it's not something that you don't just wake up and you're traumatized. Like, you wake up and you're conditioned to be the way that you are until you do the work.
Right.
And my parents didn't do the work, but it put me in a position to do the work. And I pride myself in it. Like, I do it every day. Like, I'm reading, I'm trying to learn something that can help me be a better parent, a better partner, a better leader, a better mentor, a better father, brother.
Right.
Overall.
And somebody, like you said, generation. Somebody in the line of generations, someone has to break it, right?
100%.
So you broke it, and then, like, when you look back on your parents, their grandparents, your grandparents, which are their parents, and then their parents' parents, and you could probably assume that some trauma kept being passed down, right? Until Adrian Colbert said, it's not going to go past me. I'm
Yeah.
going to stop it right here. Do you look back at your parents, and do you have that conversation with them to where you serve them and you give back to them
Oh
knowledge
yeah, like
wise?
I always like I was just back in Austin with my dad, and I started my nonprofit, and I'm doing a lot of work back home in Wichita Falls, and my mom is right there with me. So like
That's great.
as we heal and connect and elevate the youth and the other people in our community, my mom's right there with me. So not only
Right.
am I experiencing healing the inner me as a kid, but she's also experiencing the same because she's seeing transformations within where she grew up, like before me, where she grew up, that is, I mean, it's lifting her. You can see it. And I mean, she tells me it all the time, just how grateful she is for me being able to do that. And I mean, as athletes, professional athletes, when you get money, you help your parents and you try to support them as much as you can. And I've done that, and the best thing that they say I've given them is what I've been doing with the nonprofit. And
Right.
and they tell me how proud they are, and how proud they would have been if I did make it to the NFL, because I was one of the first to go to college in my family and get a degree. And that's progress. That's progress from what we knew in our family before. And shoot, we just keep making progress now, I guess.
Well, I look at you as like the chosen one, you know, and somehow you got it, man. It came down to you, and you stopped it in its tracks. You're wearing that Superman cape, and you may have looked at a lot of the things in your life and said and thought, man, I went through this journey that was tough, but I look at it like you sacrificed to be able to get to where you are today. And Bailey, I don't know, you were wiping your eyes, Bailey. I don't know if that struck a note with you or nerve, but
I just had a conversation with my mom that sounded like the conversation he was having with his parents. But my mom is 70, like again, aged, right? So we're doing this a lot later. And that's why I'm like so happy for you to be getting through it sooner. Because my mom's 73, and we have one family member that is a strain and a drain on people because she has not done her own work and she refuses to do it. And she's got alcohol involved and bipolarism and whatnot. And I told my mom, like, listen, you're at the point in your life where you can back away and say, hey, she's 47 years old. Like, let her go, let her live her life, and stop allowing her to drain your life, because the rest of us, family wise, have isolated ourselves from her to protect our own selves. And I'm like, you gave everybody in the family all you had to give. My mom never went past grade 2. She was raised in the bush in Trinidad. I was the first one who graduated high school in our family. Like, even my I have a father and a stepfather who was with me since 6, and both of them never graduated high school. So I was the first one. So then after that, I was like so big and bad and bougie, I didn't have to go to college. Thank God I was right. But, it was like, but all my kids got to go to college. I'm paying for all my kids to go through college because I'm like, no, you're going to college because I never got to go. So it's like breaking these generational curses and stopping things in their tracks. And when he was talking to his parents and them telling him they're so proud of them, my mom recently like revealed to me that I'm the kid that taught her how to love. She didn't understand that emotion because she didn't have that growing up. So she didn't realize what that was. So it kind of just like it like gets me in the throat, because I just be like,
yeah,
when you asked him the question, it was so relevant for me as well, because it's like at some point I had to forgive my parents for everything they put me through or
yeah,
did me. Because my mom whooped my ass till I was 18, like switch belt, shoe, you name it, she
right,
whooped. But that's all she knew. And when I look back on it, I'm like, that's literally all she knew. I went to visit
yeah,
this place where she was from. When I say it's still bush, I mean like bush, 7 feet tall bush. Like they walk through
right,
actual bush, not just a like I'm just saying it to say it. Like it still looked like that 12 years ago when I went to visit, and I could
Right.
not believe how little she had and how much I actually, when I look back on it now, how much I actually did have, even though they didn't really know how to be
Yeah.
parents. So
Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. Forgiveness is such a powerful word.
and
Yeah, and
acceptance.
acceptance, man.
Yeah, accepting them for who they are and what they knew and what they had
Yeah.
access to at the time. They had no technology. There were no cell phones. You couldn't just FaceTime your friend and be like, "Help me, I'm crying."
Right,
You know, you
right,
had to get or walk. She had to walk. You know, that was before
right.
me because I was around when the internet was created. So I remember using Encyclopedia Britannica to do homework
Yeah,
versus
me too.
yeah. So yeah, and we couldn't afford the whole A through Z. We had to like buy them in sections. So it was like that bad. Like people
Right.
still don't understand when I tell them we had to buy minutes for our cell phone and you only had
Yeah.
100
Hey,
for the
They
whole
don't
month.
get it.
So you had to
hey, the
ration minutes.
minutes.
Yes, like we paid per minute. Like you had to ration them. When unlimited came
Hey,
out nights and weekends after 7, like 7:01, you were Friday on 7:01, you were like,
on it. On it.
yeah,
The 500 text messages. Don't forget about
yeah.
them text messages.
Yeah, yeah.
Ours, we had to push the key like 3 times to get one letter to get the right
Yeah.
letter and spell it
But
out.
listen,
Now you can talk to it and tell it what to write and it sends it for you.
we're Adrian, we appreciate you, man. And we're coming down
Yeah,
to the last question before we
yeah.
let you go. I'm gonna let Bailey ask you the question.
So, what are 3 things that you use to positively either impact your health or change your mental health attitude in the moment?
Affirmations, grounding. Ooh, and sound boats.
There we go. I love it.
Fabulous. What a
I
great wrap
love
up. I love it. Where can our guests find you, Adrian, if they want to reach out to you?
You can find me on Instagram at Adrian Colbert, Twitter, Adrian Colbert 27. Um, also, yeah, that's really it.
Well,
TikTok
that's
too, but I don't
amazing.
do. Yeah.
Oh, TikTok,
No,
right?
I
Well,
appreciate y'all.
yeah, thank you so much for being on today. And thank you to our guests for listening. This was such a great sesh with Adrian. I just want to share with everyone, if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health and they need someone to talk to, please have them dial 988. Obviously, in an emergency, have them dial 911. And of course, if you're looking for additional mental health resources, tools, or just want to be part of the Kennedy Kids Foundation organization and follow us and join in our events, donate or volunteer, please visit us at kennedykids.org. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Adrian.